Hello, everybody. My name is Jersey, and I just wanted to do a quick video showing off something I made. It's called SVZ, which stands for Jersey versus Zombies. It's something I've been doing, a mini game that I've been running just about every server that I host for my brother and our friends. This one, as you can see, is themed after the mansion map of Lethal Company. But in the past, I've done different games. The last one that I did, the last server, I wish I recorded that one because that was really cool, but it was a Balloons Tower Defense 6 map. And I actually had the zombies running down the path. Like I had them programmed to actually walk the specific path, the blocks. And then I had a switch that would turn it off so that way they could walk on their own. But yeah, it was really exciting. But this one is still pretty cool as well, and I thought I'd show it off, just if maybe to motivate other people into making stuff like this on their own as well. But yeah, so this is the map. This is the main hall. This is the south hall down here. And as you can see, it's not a perfect representation of the map from Lethal Company. Some of these, like details like this, where I have it connected, that's so that the mobs are able to walk across, and players can walk across this as well without having to fall into a hole or having to jump without looking or something. But it allows more mobility for both players and the mobs running around as well. So that's the south hall. And the north hall over here. The north hall here is broken up into 4 different rooms. They're connected by a staircase. I have this broken up into 3 halls because some mobs, like wither skeletons or like zoglins, the zombie hoglins, or spiders, aren't able to go through these doors. But I made specifically wider doors so that over here they're able to. So I also have them spawning in 3 separate areas, as we'll see later. But yeah. So going up here, just spawning each of the mobs we can find here in the thing. And I don't have every single mob from Lethal Company. I don't have the Spore Lizard, I don't have the Slime, I don't have the Ghost Girl, for example. So here's a Nutcracker. You know, they're pretty simple. They don't really have a whole lot going on. Some of these have special like potion effects or something. See the Mass Mimic here has regeneration. You can see his heart's going up. The Jester here is really fast. The Goobers here have glowing and slow fall and jump boost. The Brackens, I don't know what they have, but I don't remember. The Bunker Spiders have another spider that spawn on top of them, but of course they climb up to the surface and then they suffocate the baby spider on their head. But yeah, so that's this. It's pretty exciting. Normally we have somebody in the control room who can spawn everything, and then we have a little walkway made out of barrier blocks so you can watch what's going on here. Unfortunately, I haven't yet made a viewing room for the south and the north halls, but yeah, I tried to make it as fair as possible so that way it's like it's kind of a after the base game, like after you beat the dragon, after you got full netherite and whatnot, you're able to go and take this on, and it's a pretty fair fight. There's a few spots where you can hide. For example, here, the Jester, like the 2 block tall mobs, actually 3 block tall mobs also won't be able to get up here. Spiders and goobers are able to come up here, but they're not so much of a threat. But if you spawn a bunch of the Jesters and whatnot, they won't be able to get to you here. And for example, the Thumpers are can't go through the doorways. So if you clear out an area of them, like let's say in the main hall, you're able to stand here and sort of hit them. So there's a few spots, and there's not much I can do about that really. I could probably try to throw barrier blocks, but I think having safe spots is nice, just so that it's not super unfair for everybody. This spot, actually, things can drop down on you, and they do if you actually are playing. But a good spot, if you have jump boost, you're able to actually get up here and stand here and hit the mobs from up here, which is a pretty nice spot. But of course, you need jump boost to get there from like right here. But yeah. So if we want to go look here at the command blocks and how those work, so the lever is on top, which spawns 1, and it actually spawns 1 in each area. So technically spawns 3, but it that way the north, south, and main halls are all filled with mobs. And then on the bottom here is where we have the button, which does repeat command blocks. So it spawns a bunch of these guys. And I don't have a lever for that because otherwise people would have the lever spawn a bunch of these and lag out the game and they'd forget, and then I would have to deal with that. But yeah, so for example, if you want to see how much coding goes into each of these, this is what the Bracken looks like. Sort of a smaller one. Pretty simple. Just has a high attack damage, high max health. He has the death table of an ocelot, so that way he doesn't drop like wither skulls or bones or coal or anything. All of those guys have that. They all have the ability to drop these tokens, which are sunflowers that are renamed, and we'll get to what the tokens are what they do later. Here's what a masked mimic looks like. A lot longer. It's a zombie, ocelot, loot table, high health, high damage, and yeah, and different armor and particle effects. For example, for slowness, for the masked mimic here, yeah. But yeah, and then this is what the jester is. Just high generic base movement speed. Attack damage is high as well, and yeah, and then the drop chances for each of these things. Yeah. Let's see what's. I think this is the Thumper. Yep, Thumper. So zombie hoglin. With all of these different attributes and potion effects. You can actually pause and look through all of these if you really want to on your own. I won't go through each of it, but you can see, I hand coded this, I hand built all of this. It takes a while. It takes a while to do all of this. The spider is probably the longest one because it has another spider on its head. But yeah. And then the goober, also pretty simple. Still a little bit, just because of all the potion effects and whatnot. But and then you have to customize the drop chances of all of that. But yeah. So what you will see is that these guys drop tokens, and if we go to Warp Krusty Krab, my map plugin, I reset my server, so the map plugin is broken. But you will see that I have custom villagers that trade special items. So we have a riot shield that gives knockback resistance, a book that you can put in your offhand, does extra attack damage, extra attack knockback, custom fishing rods, a stick that does more attack damage and increases your speed when you hold it. It has high knockback, a hoe that when you break crops with it, you get a lot of things. Health boost tome. I just figured, these pottery sherds, they don't do a lot, and there's not a lot of offhand items. I mean, like, there's bows, there's maps, there's arrows, the totem of undying, a shield, but like, there's so much more potential with the offhand, and I figured more options like this would be useful, and just give more things than just a shield, or a totem, which is what most people will hold in their offhand. Or food or something. But yeah, and then we have actual, like, a lot harder to get items. So these have different potion effects that you can actually activate right clicking. So you get saturation with these, and these have like higher, like, sharpness 6 and unbreaking 5 and whatnot. Tridents, which can't normally get sharpness, I put sharpness on this one, so it does 12 attack damage. Cloud armor, custom glow, permanent water breathing when you put it on, levitation upon right click when equipped, and slow fall with the boots. And then Icarus wings, which give levitation when equipped. So each of these, you actually have to have crystal tokens, which I'll show you in a second what they do. But yeah, it's just a fun little thing so that and here's what the crystal tokens are for. You trade amethyst shards and SVZ tokens and get crystal tokens. So it just gives a way for me to add more usage for things that typically aren't used often in the game, and give more end game content. And you know what? I'm honestly really proud of this. Like a lot of effort went into all this stuff. You can probably guess how much effort it takes to code all of this myself and build all of it. But yeah, just every single time I build an SVZ, I always am like, man, I wish I'd recorded it or documented it somehow. But yeah, this is what it is. And for some reason, it always puts me in survival when I change dimensions. But as you can see, actually, this is built in the Nether, on top of the roof of the Nether, so that way people don't like accidentally stumble upon it and break through and whatnot. And I changed the biome to be mushroom fields, so that way other mobs don't really spawn. Of course, with world edit and changing biomes like that, there's some glitches where sometimes things do spawn or the biome doesn't change in specific blocks, but it works pretty well. It's functionally really well. It functions really well, and it's a fun game, and the player base seems to really enjoy it. And yeah, hopefully this motivates other people to make similar sort of zombie pigman. Interesting. But hopefully this encourages and inspires people to make their own stuff. Tools like MC Stacker are really helpful in creating stuff like this and learning the basics of how different things work, like different attributes, potion effects, all that stuff. So it's pretty exciting, and I hope you guys enjoyed this. And maybe in the future I'll make more updates with different maps and different mobs and stuff, and different custom items, and you can see how all that works out. But thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next video.